There is Nowhere Else You Should Be This Christmas by HappyJuicyfruit. Read by My Lost and Found. Summary. After May unexpectedly passes away, Tony thinks he's doing a pretty good job of looking after Peter. That is, until he forgets to include Peter in on holiday plans. This fic is about 1,400 words and one chapter. It is rated general audiences and no archive warnings apply. As always, link to the fic is in the description. And on with the story. It was fast, unexpected, and heartbreaking. Peter reacted far better than Tony ever imagined he would. God knows when his own parents had died, he hadn't reacted well. But this wasn't his parents. This was May. Bright, confident, loving May. He didn't know what they would do without her. He didn't know how he was going to support the kid without May to support all of them. But they would figure it out. They had to. It was the first week of summer vacation when it happened. Peter had just graduated. They were at the lake house. Peter and Morgan were jumping off the dock. May was laughing. And then she was frowning. And before anyone could react, she'd put a hand on her head and collapsed. The doctors said it was an aneurysm. It could have happened at any time. There was nothing anyone could have done to stop it. Tony knew Peter blamed himself anyway. He was just grateful he and Pepper had been there when it happened, so they could tell him otherwise every time the guilt raised its ugly head. Pepper had planned the funeral, or celebration of life, like they thought May would want. Everyone wore bright colors. Tony gave a speech. Their garden was full. Nurses, old friends. May had been well loved. Peter sat between Ned and MJ the whole time, Morgan on his lap. He didn't give a speech. Peter stayed with them that summer, and then, despite Tony's assurance that MIT wouldn't mind him taking a year off, he went off to school in the fall. "We're just a phone call away," Pepper said, hugging him tight in his dorm. "I can get here in 20 minutes with the suit," Tony said. Peter said he would be fine, but Tony saw him hugging the teddy Morgan had gifted him as they left. Tony tried to check in as often as he could without smothering the kid. He thought a text every night was probably okay. He didn't freak out when Peter didn't reply either. A phone call every Sunday night, picking him up for visits on long weekends. It was good. Peter was more quiet than usual, but that was to be expected. They were doing their best. It was good. Or at least, he thought it was. Thanksgiving should have been a warning sign. "I have a lot of exams in December," Peter had said. "I can't make it. You guys have fun without me." So he and Pepper, mostly Pepper, had sent him a Thanksgiving care package and thought that was it. But then Peter stopped returning any texts, and his Sunday call went straight to voicemail for 2 weeks in a row. If Tony didn't have Ned on Instagram, who posted about 10 stories a day, most of them with Peter, he would be more worried. He finally got the kid on the phone halfway through December. "How's it going with the exams?" Tony asked, trying to sound casual. He didn't ask what he really wanted to. "Are you safe? Are you depressed? Do you need me?" He didn't want to scare the kid off. "Good," Peter said. Tony could practically hear the shrug. "Only have 2 left, so that's nice." "Good, that's good. When's your last one?" "The 18th. The 18th. End of next week. Good." He'd be home a week before Christmas. All right, what time do you want? Ned and I are actually heading out, so... Right, I'm just wondering if you want me to. It's okay, Tony. I can figure it out on my own. Tony swallowed the sour taste in his mouth. Right, you're a big kid now. You can figure it all out. I guess I'll see you. Yep, see you later. Peter hung up the phone. Tony sighed, rubbing a hand over his forehead. To think he was actually missing Peter's high school years, when he'd been consistently afraid the kid was one wrong move from being killed by an enhanced mugger. At least the kid had talked to him then. The 18th came and went, and Peter did not come home. Are you sure it was the 18th? Pepper asked. Yeah, Tony said, still looking out at the driveway. And he didn't want you to come pick him up? He said he would figure it out. He's 18. It's probably some weird independent thing, trying to do everything on his own. He doesn't know how to drive, Tony. How is he going to... Okay. I'll call him again. Peter didn't answer. Ned posted a picture of the two of them celebrating the end of exams. Pepper sighed. Maybe he meant he would come home after the weekend. Yeah. Tony moved away from the window. Maybe. On Monday morning, a parcel arrived. A parcel from Peter. A parcel from Peter with 3 wrapped Christmas presents addressed to the 3 of them inside. What the fuck? Tony, I think maybe you should go see Peter, Pepper said, her brow furrowed. I think you're right, he said, already tapping on his chest. It was time to figure out what was going on with the kid. Tony had to take a breath when he reached Peter's dorm room, stopping himself from bursting open the door and instead knocking. His anger spiked again, though, when Peter answered his door in pajamas, a completely unpacked room behind him. Tony? Kid, what the fuck? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Peter stepped back, confused. I live here. Tony stormed into the room. Yeah, and Christmas is in 4 days. What exactly is your plan? Oh, well, I was gonna watch some Christmas movies. I got some eggnog. There are a few other people staying. They're from Europe, and the calf is having Christmas dinner. So... Tony frowned, looked at Peter's confused face, looked around the room again, noting the Christmas lights Peter had set up around the window and the dorky fake tree in the corner. All the anger drained out of him when he realized what was going on. Pete, if you don't want to spend Christmas with us, that's fine, but at least spend it with Ned or something. Don't spend it alone here. Peter frowned. I don't want to, impose on anyone. Impose? You two live at each other's houses. Yeah, but that was different. At Christmas, you should be with family. Okay, Tony nodded. Come spend it with us, then. Tony, you don't have to do that. You've been more than generous, paying for MIT and having me over every long weekend, but this isn't some Sunday afternoon. This is Christmas. I know you probably want to spend it with just the 3 of you. It's Morgan's first Christmas in school. I'm sure there's a Christmas party or whatever. Peter, I'm going to say something that I clearly should have said months ago. If you hadn't been 18 already after May, I would have adopted you. Peter froze. What? Your family, Peter, in every way that matters. We're not doing Christmas without you. He pulled the kid into a hug when his eyes started to get teary. And by the way, Morgan's Christmas concert is tomorrow. And you're coming. Okay, Peter said, voice choked. Good. On Christmas morning, Morgan woke them all bright and early. She jumped on their bed and then went to drag Peter out of his. The four of them huddled around the Christmas tree, Tony and Pepper on the couch, Peter and Morgan on the floor. Morgan was practically bouncing with excitement. Peter was practically asleep. Morgan got dolls, dresses, a ukulele, way too many toys, and way too much chocolate. Peter got clothes, board games, a Star Wars Lego set, and... Tony, are these plane tickets? I can't accept this. What? Thought you said you were getting into Lord of the Rings. So you got me a trip to New Zealand? I thought it would be fun to see those hobbit houses. Besides, those were just for show. We're going to be taking the private jet. Did you buy real plane tickets for show? Okay, so maybe Peter wasn't used to being part of the family yet. Maybe there was a May-shaped hole that they all stepped around until they made a toast for her at dinner. But as Tony watched his two kids snuggle up with hot chocolate by the fire on Christmas night, he thought it was pretty damn close to perfect. And that is all for this PODFIC. I wanted to just do a little holiday Christmassy one to release on Christmas. So yeah, that's when this is coming out if you're from the future. But yes, I finally finished exams, so I'm back to podficking. Voice Team Mystery Box is starting up soon, already in the Discord. Very excited for that. But yeah, I haven't podficked anything in so long, and this was just like a nice little one to do to get myself started back up in the Christmas spirit. I've had to just push down anything Christmas related for so long because I've had to focus on school. But now the holidays are starting. I've done my last minute Christmas shopping, and I'm very excited to be having Christmas, and I get to spend it with my family, which is nice. Always exciting. But no, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you're having a happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And yeah, that's all for this time. As always, link to the fic is in the description. Go leave a kudos, go leave a comment, whatever you can. I am sure the original author appreciates it. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.